So, how to move a business to another city in Poland? Let's say you decided to move, or for some other reasons, I don't know, you had a conflict with the tax office in this city, they don't want to open a VAT number for you or something else. In general, you want to move your business to another city. How to do it, and is it possible? The answer to the question, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We have changed many clients many times for various reasons. Addresses. The main reason, of course, is it's worth being and living in the city where your business is. Why? Because sometimes you have to run around for meetings with government agencies. And if, for example, you live in Gdansk, but your legal address is in Wrocław, your inspector says, let's meet tomorrow and talk in person. And you realize that for you, well, just the travel could take a whole day. The procedure itself is not that complicated. If you registered the company correctly, meaning you did it online through a simplified scheme within 24 hours as we do it for our clients, in that case, you just need to change the founding documents. Usually, many changes are made to the charter, stating that the headquarters of the company is now in this city, instead of that city. In the final entry, the address is changed to reflect what your address will be in the new city. A series of documents are signed there, sent off, and that's it. The problem starts when you need to show someone that this address has changed in the registry, because these changes can be made by very slow inspectors. Several months. Just recently we changed it, and for 2 months, the address was just changing in the system. Therefore, we had to show just this signed application for changes. Like, look guys, we changed it to the bank. We showed it just because the system hadn't yet updated our data. With some, this will work. With others, it won't. And it's important to take that into account as well. Now, what needs to be changed besides the address itself in the state register, whether it's a company, the S24 system, or private entrepreneurship? Then, on the portal business, .gov.pl. Be sure to decide how important it is for you that your accounting moves with you, and if your accounting service doesn't have a branch in another city, how much of a problem that is. In most cases, this is not a problem because correspondence is conducted via email and communication through the phone. And you don't send originals to the accounting department, but, for example, just scans. You upload them to Google Drive or a special program. So for most, this is not a problem. But if you are used to visiting the accountant and having a face-to-face conversation instead of a phone call, then take care of this in advance, because the accounting department also has a deadline. That is the contract termination period, which is important to consider. By the way, it's better to change the accounting department from the beginning of the year. One firm has taken you to the end. It already knows what documents you have, what problems, shortcomings. It has closed your annual financial report, and you can smoothly transition to a new firm without issues. The new firm starts with you from scratch. The same applies to banks. That is, when you open an account for the firm, very often you are specifically tied to the banker who opened your account in that particular city, at that specific location where your account was opened. If you want to make any changes, then you go to the nearest branch to you and they tell you, please go over there, because that's where you are registered. Accordingly, to avoid having to travel across all of Poland to see this banker, you should have this conversation with them in advance, explaining that you are moving there and your business is moving with you, so please update the information so that I can be serviced in that city. And by the way, if you need help with company registration or an individual entrepreneur registration, accounting in Poland, or business consultations in Poland, you can contact us below the video, where you will find all the necessary links, and we will be happy to help you. The question arises whether this can be done at all, whether it is legal, and whether it will cause any problems with government authorities, because in some countries, if a company changes its address, it somehow changes its tax office as well. So there is some kind of arrangement, and therefore the company. Well, roughly speaking, something shady is going on, yes, in that kind of language. And in Poland, I haven't encountered cases where, if someone has, please write in the comments that this is viewed negatively. Moreover, it happens that here, for example, the government bodies are very strict, some inspectors. But in another city, you go in and they easily issue you a permit. Ask no questions, conduct fewer inspections, and issue all the documents faster. Sometimes it's worth doing it for this reason. And the question is, should you do it if you are moving to another city? For example, you live in Warsaw, but your business remains in Krakow. For instance, it doesn't always make sense to do this work, to change. Why? Because if your business is, let's say, online, if you haven't really been running around government offices, if you already have a bunch of vehicles registered to your company in Krakow, and they need to have the license plates from the city where your company is registered, not where you personally live. That is, if you have assets there, then it might be worth keeping the company there, so it remains legally established. And here, either open a branch, which is also possible, or in principle don't open anything if you're not building a corporation out of it. Because essentially, invoices are issued online, negotiations with clients are often online, this might not significantly affect the process. Another question is, if you often have to visit government agencies, it's more convenient to do this within the city where you live, rather than traveling to another city. Unless you make a combination, for example, appoint an employee there or register a proxy, or you simply have a trusted person with a power of attorney who will act on behalf of you or your company to go and resolve issues there on the spot. In this case, you may not need to go through the entire procedure with changes. So we talked about how to relocate a business. Stanislav, my partner, recorded a video on how to relocate yourself. That is, how to move to another city. Here you will find hints for previous videos on this topic. Watch, subscribe to our channel, and like. See you in the next episodes. Friends, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel below the video. You will find all the contacts of our guest and for his product if you need the service. And in general, you can find him there, including his Instagram. Write your questions in the comments. What else are you interested in? Learn and have a successful business in Poland if you need help with company registration. For opening and managing accounting, also write to all the links in the description attempts. Made by Matters off. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.